predictor in just a couple of minutes.
Plenty to keep an eye on. All right, thank you, Lise. The Office of Emergency Management is encouraging Nashvillians to be home by 6 o'clock. It's not a requirement or mandatory, just a suggestion.
Because they are just ahead of the low pressure center and cold front that is back to our west. This area is what we'll deal with later tonight, and this brings its own threat of severe weather when it moves through Nashville in the late night hours, probably between about 10:30 and midnight. We'll feel the effects of this here in town, and we're going to map that out with Predictor in just a moment. Right now, you can see some of the development ahead of it has had the potential to twist, to rotate in a very dynamic weather situation. It helps that we have been very cool from Nashville northward out there today. As a matter of fact, they did drop the tornado warning that was back there in Decatur County and northeastern or southeastern Carroll County. Very strong thunderstorms coming in through West Tennessee right now, getting close to the Tennessee River. Many of these counties right along the Tennessee River are already under warnings. You can see we do have some lightning with this. I'm going to turn that off because one of the most volatile parts of this storm line is actually down in the southwest corner, coming through the southern Henderson County area, moving into Decatur County, northern Hardin County. Folks, this one really packing a punch with some 80-mile-per-hour damaging straight line winds, and then there are what we would term embedded tornadoes along this leading edge. We talked about that during the evening newscast, that we are in an environment where tornadoes could spin up. We are continuing to talk about the tornado warning up here in south central Kentucky. Basically, it is right on the Christian Muhlenberg, northern Todd County area here, where and just south of the Greenville community, I think that we could be looking at a possible tornado here. We did have spotters spot a wall cloud. It looks like that has moved out of Christian County and just a little bit north of Todd County now. Looks like pop up there is looking at some of the wind information within the radar information that gives us all sorts of rain information, wind information. I want to see the wind information as well as the rain information. They both can tell us a lot about the storm system. I'm going to track what's coming through West Tennessee. It's made it through the Paris area. Still some heavy rains there, and we do have some flash flood warnings coming in along with this. We are definitely under a flash flood watch and a tornado watch for all of the mid-state, including Nashville now. This is a long-range track on this weather system, so let's get an idea of when it could be making its way across the mid-state. It has been speeding up a little bit as it's been moving through West Tennessee. We have some cells moving to the northeast at 75 miles per hour, mainly the one down there in southern Henderson County, just back to the west of Decaturville and Perry County, Linden, but the rest of the line moving to the east at about 60 miles per hour. Could
that's 77-mile-per-hour gust. Still a tornado warning out for Todd County, and there is a storm spotter out there on that cell, and he has not seen any signs of tornadoes around the Muhlenberg area. So at least we got that going for us. Carl, I heard you mention the tornado warnings, which continue between Memphis and Nashville. We're watching that part of the line, even down to the north of Yazoo City, Mississippi. We have tornado warnings at the present time. All right, guys, let's take you back. Really, a lot of the action here between 6:45 local and 7:45. It all started with the tornado sirens, which were pretty much almost a block away from us, so they were very loud, and you couldn't mistake them. And of course, when they came around, and where you were obviously right in the perf or the peak of the sound waves, that's when you could really, really hear that sirens. We looked across again the Mississippi River. Huge flashes of lightning. First, they were in the sky off in the distance. And then we saw the ground stroke lightning, and then, of course, just lightning everywhere, sky and ground, as Mark was talking about earlier, just incredible colors with that. And they did illuminate what certainly looked like some very low-hanging clouds. Dr. Forbes mentioned, classic shelf cloud gradient. You could see it on the radar. We could see it out here, and sometimes that can often be mistaken for a funnel cloud or an even tornado. It certainly looks very, very ominous. These are clouds that hang very, very low to the ground. Of course, following that shelf cloud, just about a sheet of rain here. You can see flashing lightning going by from time to time here on the back edge of that rain, which I anticipate us being out with as we go on through the night tonight. All right, let's bring in our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes. And Greg, obviously with the trends that we're seeing from the Storm Prediction Center with more has
And major concern here for the areas in Decatur County where the storm is right now, moving out of Henderson County and into the Perry County area. I'm going to track it for you. It is going to produce straight line wind damage and possibly tornado damage as well. It is moving to the east at about 60 miles per hour. And what I'm going to do here, let me reset things just a little bit because I want to make sure that we are looking at the folks here right in the Perry County area. And so I'm going to take it to a 30-minute track so you will know immediately if you're going to be impacted by this. I can tell you this, that if you're in Perry County, you should be taking cover. Here we go with the track at about 60 miles per hour, should be into Linden by about 8:52. The Lobelville area, 8:55, only around 9 o'clock, Cobble around to the warning map here, just so you can see this. Notice Benton County around Camden, over into Houston County, up into southern Stewart County, and also into northern Humphreys County. Tornado warnings until 9 o'clock. And of course, we were just tracking there in Decatur County and into Perry County. Those warnings until 9 o'clock as well. That at least gives us an overview of what's happening here. Let me track this storm line that is coming through the Benton County area and Stewart County. And once...
All right, an ominous sound in Memphis, Tennessee earlier tonight as tornadoes touched down not very far from downtown Memphis. Reports of very serious wind damage from around the region, and in fact a number of people now without power. 26,000 at last count there in the Memphis area. There are still some storms coming through, but the most serious storms well off to the east.
Yeah, you can see right there a red box indicates 1,000 people without power. Obviously several thousand people without power in the Memphis area, Shelby County in particular as well. So hopefully things will be back up because a lot of that the roughest weather is now past Memphis.
Minutes, Dixon and 17. Lisa Patton here in the News 2 Storm Center with the very latest on this volatile line of thunderstorms sliding in from West Tennessee, doing just exactly what we thought. Damaging straight line winds with embedded tornadoes are a part of this weather system. You can see it's getting closer and closer here to the Clarksville area, through Aaron, through Waverly, now into the Dixon area. And Hickman County has just been given a tornado warning with multiple severe thunderstorm warnings for the counties out ahead of this, including Davidson County. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Davidson. These severe thunderstorm warnings are in effect until 10:30, but right now it's this Hickman County tornado warning. Notice that Hickman County is highlighted in purple. That is in effect until 9:30. You notice the orange counties, including Davidson, Cheatham, up through Robertson, Montgomery, back into Stewart, Houston, Humphreys, and Dixon County, all under a severe thunderstorm warning until 10:30. Some of the southern areas south of Centerville could also be swept up in some of these warning categories. Winds very nearby running toward the radar. Obviously, that is a sign of a rotating thunderstorm, and we actually can see it. If I take the scope off that's looking at wind data, you can see it, and we have it with the radar information. The reds coming south across up north up across the interstate. You can see that we are looking at the possibility of a tornado there near I-40, just north of the Cobble community, and again around Furnace and Only. These are the folks who should be taking cover immediately. We're just getting word too now that we have tornado warnings in Cheatham, Dixon, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Houston counties until 9:30. So we're going to move and look at here in just a second, and then we're going to track both of those for you. This is a situation tonight that does warrant folks paying close attention to the weather. I'm going to pull out the view here out of this. Just getting